I'm here today to talk to you about fashion, one of the top categories at eBay, and some of the major opportunities that I'm going to talk about today for you as sellers. So pre-loved fashion is growing 9 times faster than new fashion, and we're going to dig into that a little bit more today. So I'm Kirsty Keoghan and I run our global apparel team here at eBay. And an interesting fact about me is when I was on my maternity leave, I set up a fashion business on eBay so I could really put myself in your shoes as sellers and understand what you face every day as eBay sellers. So what we're going to cover today, I'm going to give you an overview of the category and tell you a little bit more about what's happening. And number 2, we're going to look at what our customers are looking for when they come to eBay. Number 3, I'm going to give you updates on the product experience and the things that we've been working on behind the scenes. And then finally, we'll look at how you as sellers can prepare for the holidays and the Q4 selling period. So we're going to take the time now and get into some of the details. So fashion, as I said before, has always been a top performing category at eBay. New apparel has always been a focus for us and continues to perform really well. I'm sure you all know that pre-loved fashion is also growing really fast. And what we hear is that it's growing 9 times faster than the speed of new apparel. This presents a major opportunity for you as sellers on eBay and what we're going to focus our time on today. The variety of inventory of new and used enables us on eBay to have a whole outfit shopping experience unlike many other retailers or platforms. So let's understand a little bit more about our customers. So our Gen Z customers, our younger customers, tell us that they want to shop more sustainably. So therefore it's really important that we show up pre-loved or used inventory to them on eBay. Millennials and Gen X customers are value driven. So they come to eBay to look to get an amazing deal. And so we can introduce them to the variety in this pre-loved space, which presents items that are good value for the pocket and also great for the planet as well. And so whichever your motivator is as a customer, pre-loved is a great item to buy into, particularly in the fashion category. So the policy landscape in the UK has enabled an environment for us to test and learn about pre-loved. What do our customers want? What are they looking for? What initiatives resonate with them? And we're going to look to extend these into the US. I'm going to talk about these a little bit later on today, but we have our Imperfects initiative, which highlights inventory that is new but with defects, and then buying better than new. So this offsets the typical overconsumption mindset that you might have during the holiday period, whilst elevating the amazing inventory that we have on site for customers. So let's look into what our customers are buying, which I'm sure is super interesting for you as sellers. It can really help you plan your business better. So men's is a fast growing opportunity. We're seeing double-digit growth, and key categories for menswear are in polos, hoodies and sweatshirts, sunglasses, suits and separates and hats, and these perform consistently well all year round. And then if we shift to look at women's we see performs consistently well, single-digit year-on-year growth in categories that are important are sweaters, activewear, shorts and pants, jeans, coats and jackets and dresses. As I said, these subcategories, important to remember, are strong all year round in new and used apparel. So this hopefully gives you an opportunity to plan which items you want to source or prioritise listing on eBay. So let's go a bit further down the funnel. So which brands are our customers looking for? So here are a list of some of the brands that our customers look for across new and used that are really driving growth for us at eBay. They are regularly searched for and also regularly purchased by our customers. So this shows a desire for mass to premium and lifestyle brands that are really well known, that our customers know and trust and come to eBay to find. So if we go a bit further down the funnel and thinking about when to list items and thinking about Q4 specifically for you as sellers, the top brands and subcategories that I mentioned earlier are seasonless. So for example, we will still sell jackets in summer and we'll still sell dresses in winter, but there are consistent and significant strengths in different areas throughout the year. They might not be a surprise to you as sellers, but I just want to highlight some of those for you today, especially if you're a newer seller on eBay. So outerwear does exceptionally well in October through to April, as well as things like boots and sweaters as people are getting ready for the autumn and winter periods. Search terms also show interest in vintage pieces such as fur, bomber, floor length, so items that you would typically associate with Q4, but to highlight these are the things that our customers are looking for, and you should think about listing them ahead of that period. So this hopefully helps you plan your businesses. So we're going to shift now into a little bit more into the experience and the technical updates that we've been working on in the background to support the fashion category. So Preloved and vintage landing pages were launched earlier this year. This is a new opportunity for customers to see products and for us to feature your stores and the inventory that you have that's either pre-loved or vintage. Marketing drives to these pages from social, push notifications, emails, etc. And this gives us the ability to elevate the whole outfit notion that I mentioned earlier with crossover into categories such as sneakers and luxury and handbags. I also want to emphasise some of the new initiatives that we've been working on that you might not have noticed that are happening behind the scenes. So for the eagle-eyed sellers out there, or sellers that have been selling in fashion on eBay for a long time, we've heard from you that there is friction associated with listing fashion on eBay. So earlier this year, we removed hundreds of item specifics that we require for you to give us when listing on eBay in order to make the listing experience much more efficient for you, and we will continue to look to ways to improve the efficiencies of listing fashion on eBay. And then a couple of other things that we've done this year is think about how can we invest into the future of the fashion category. So we acquired a company called Certilogo a couple of months ago, and they provide authentication services for fashion and digital passport solutions for brands, which are going to be really important for the future. We also invested and created a partnership with a company called Vault in Australia, who provide rental services and then resell end of rental life items on eBay so that we can really understand more about that market. So how can you as sellers plan for Q4 and the holidays, which is such a key period for fashion? So we've made the decision to move towards an evergreen approach to marketing in fashion versus the past week-to-week cadence that we used to have. This allows for more consistency and emphasis on top-performing items that we're able to put in front of our customers. It also allows us to put much more diversity in the inventory that we're presenting to customers, as we have the opportunity to get more sellers involved in these key events. Some of the specific events include thinking about the categories. So it could be, for example, we're showing up our footwear when we know that's a trending item, or our vintage tea campaigns that is popular all year round. And then we can think about the seasonal moments, so moments that are important to customers. So it could be going on holiday in the summer, so thinking about summer dresses, or in the winter, making sure they have their boots for the winter period. And then we'll also call out key and major shopping moments that happen in fashion throughout the year. So think about things like back to school, which we recently launched, or prom. We will also extend our Buy Better Than You campaign to the US for Q4, which is really exciting. This is an opportunity for us to highlight to customers the great value pre-loved inventory and imperfect inventory that we have on site, rather than always buying new, through a period which is typically about over-consuming. And our customers tell us they want to try to make more thought-through decisions when buying fashion, and pre-loved is a perfect way to do that and get great value for customers. So this is time to get planning on getting that inventory ready to list on eBay. So brands and sellers have told us that they have this corner of their warehouse where they have some great inventory, and it's not new and it's not used. So what we've done is we've understood what that inventory is, and we understand it to be a mix of returns. It could be samples that have been tried on or tried on in a store. It could be missing a box or missing a label, and it's just not quite perfect. So this is where we're going to look to highlight the new with defect inventory, and for customers we call this imperfects. And this helps you move those items that perhaps in the corner of your warehouse that you didn't know what to do with and still get great prices for them. So 3 things that I would love for you to come away remembering today about the fashion category. Number 1, fashion is a great category to invest in. It's performing really strongly at eBay and we are recognising this opportunity. Customers love brands and they shop for key categories all year round. And number 3, pre-loved is of growing emphasis. So whilst new apparel continues to perform well, there is a real growing trend for customers to make more sustainable decisions as well as buying new. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you've learned a lot of new opportunities to help you grow your business, and look out for our seller interview session coming up.
What if buying used fashion was just as easy as buying new fashion? That is a question we are actively trying to solve here on the fashion team at eBay and with sellers like Michelle. My name is Kate Danielsen. I am the category manager for used apparel at eBay's US market, and I'm here with Michelle Nguyen, the founder of Emmy's Closet, an eBay store that is operating at the intersection of fashion and sustainability.
Thank you, Kate. So I'm Michelle Nguyen. I own Emmy's Closet. I've been doing it for about 4.5 years. I really enjoy what I do. I sell secondhand women's clothing, and I focus on more contemporary styles. I sell a lot of dresses. It's one way for me to be sustainable. After learning about fast fashion, it became a mission of mine to be able to save these clothes that are just going to end up in the landfill anyways. So I sell like 95% of my clothing are going to be secondhand, and I also wear mainly secondhand clothing also. But thank you for having me.
Excellent. So I wanted to get into sustainability. In the category presentation, we learned that the secondhand fashion market is growing 9 times faster than new apparel. So as a used apparel seller, I'd love your perspective on why that's happening and how it's related to sustainability.
So I think a really big reason why it's growing is because of the younger generation, especially Gen Z. They're really on this sustainable trend, and they're pretty much going back to the 90s. Like their style is really 90s focused. And a lot of that you can find at the thrift store right now. And so I think that's a big reason why sustainability is kind of on the surge. And then more people are just learning about fast fashion and how damaging it is to the environment. Like I first learned about it in 2017. I was a lot older, but after I learned about it, I pretty much was like, well, fashion is something that I consume the most of. And I know like because of that, that's just gonna, if like one person, if myself is creating this, like imagine like everybody else. And then you can also learn a lot of things on Instagram and TikTok. So people can go on there and just learn about styling tips, where to shop for sustainability. And so overall, I think the trend that Gen Z is setting for sustainability, that is something that I definitely commend them for.
Great, and really interesting to consider how Gen Z is pushing sustainability forward. Shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk about Q4 and the holidays. From your perspective, what are some inventory trends that sellers can use or look into to prepare for as this time of year comes around?
So I'm not really big on trends. I tend to shop and dress for the season and the weather. So for the fall season and the holiday season and like just cooler weather in general, I go for cashmeres or wool or just that kind of sets you up for the season. And then also for the holiday, I tend to go for tweed, which is a really classic and timeless fabric. And they're great for like work functions, but then also for holidays. And then just in general, like for the holiday season, I go for something that's more glamorous, like maybe even sequins for work parties and functions and like New Year's Eve. So to me, those are trends in general, but that's what I stick to for holiday seasons.
Really interesting. And could you maybe dive in a little bit more to shopping outside of the trend cycle and shopping more for quality?
Oh, definitely. Since I don't stick to trend, I go for timeless pieces, especially like something that you can wear for multiple functions, multiple occasions, versus just like having like a party dress that you wear just to a party, but then you can also like dress it over, like wear it under a sweater, and then you can wear it to work. So for me, it's about not being too loud, but that's just me. Like that's just my style in general.
Sure.
And having pieces in your closet that you can mix and match for different occasions, different weather. So like if you have a dress, in the winter, you can put over a sweater, and then in the summer, you can put like a linen shirt over it, things like that.
Sure. So shopping for your own personal style is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. So diving into another element of sustainable used shopping is new with defects inventory, or imperfects is what we call it. We've been making an effort to highlight imperfect inventory on the fashion pages on eBay for some time now, and I'd love to hear how you're leaning into promoting imperfects in your store.
Yeah, so I personally seek out these kind of things because they'll be discounted because it is imperfect and it has like maybe a hole or like a broken zipper or a stain. But these are all things that I personally have, like I know I can fix. Like I have a background in sewing, and so I know if I see like a flaw, like if it's, a tear on the side, I know I can sew that up. My mom also actually helps me do all the mending. So if there's something that needs to be mended, I take it to her. If she can do it, then she'll do it for me really quickly. It's a skill not a lot of people have. So because I'm able to, then I know like these are the things that I can fix. And so in order just like, instead of just leaving it in the thrift store, nobody wants it because they don't think they can fix it, or it ends up in the landfill, like I can make those adjustments and then I can sell it. I have an example where I bought a cashmere Escada sweater, and it had like a hole in the back of the neck. And, normally people would see that and be like, well, I don't know how to fix that. But because I did, I just added like a dart on the back of it. And it didn't look intentional enough because it looked a little lopsided since only one side of it had it. I went ahead and just added a dart on the other side, even though there wasn't a hole. And it looked more intentional. And when I listed it, I just showed them like, hey, there's going to be these two darts, but you can put your hair down and you're not going to be able to see it. And that sold right away because it's a cashmere Escada sweater. I also have another example where I thrifted this long, beautiful Tory Burch dress, like bright red, but it had like stains that I didn't see when I had purchased it. But, I was like, oh, Tory Burch, I'm going to buy it. And it had like stains and things like that. And I tried to get it off, but it didn't come off. And I listed it anyways. And I took a photo of all the stains. And somebody wanted it anyways. I do price my flaw items down a little bit, like maybe 30% below what I would normally sell it for. But I rather like somebody use it, instead of just leaving it there. And she bought it and she liked it, like it didn't matter. And sometimes it's so tiny that you can't see it. And you don't know if people are going to be okay with it or not. So I list it anyways. And if it sells, great. If not, then I'll upcycle and do something else with it.
I love those stories, and I think they are a really important lesson in being honest and complete in your listings. If you're providing all of the information and someone still wants to buy it, then it's great on both sides.
Yeah,
so that's really important for you to share. Thank you. We talked today about how Gen Z is helping push sustainability forward, about shopping outside of the trend cycle and more for quality in your personal style, and also about repair and reuse. So thank you so much for your insights. It's been really wonderful to speak with you.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be able to share that with you, and thanks for having me.